Good morning, Dragons. Thank you for joining us today for a very special DragonFire. I'm Rakshan Sivalingam.
And I'm Lillian Beavers. Today's DragonFire will focus on how us Dragons can start the second semester of this school year strong.
We've got helpful information for students regarding EOCs, making sure we understand the new first period tardy policy, and pointing out a few major points of the student handbook.
Also covered will be academic dishonesty and how this can impact your academic club involvement, scholarships, and more.
And it's all on today's DragonFire, and it starts right now.
With the new semester, I'm sure we all have heard about the changes to the tardy policies. Dragon Media reporter Savvy, Emma, and Rom sat down and spoke with Mr. Maddie with some questions in mind to learn more about the new changes.
The tardy procedures at Collierville High School: if a student is tardy once, the teacher gives that student a verbal warning. A second time, the teacher contacts the parent. A third time, a detention is issued. A fourth time, the student's tardy, another detention's issued. A fifth time is a discipline referral, and the student will be issued a Friday school. If the student is a driver, they lose their parking pass on their fifth tardy to school.
Tardies are important. They have to be collected. You have to be at school on time. It's really important that you're in your class so you can learn all that you need to learn, and so that your teachers can get to work quickly instead of waiting for you to get to class. Get here as early as you can. We open the school building at 6:45. You can come in as early as 6:45, so there's no reason you have to wait until 7:30 to rush with everybody. There's 3,000 students at this school, and so if everyone tries to get here at the same time, everyone's going to be late. You need to try to get here early.
If the door closes at 7:30, the student needs to walk around front and come in through the attendance office. If you're tardy 3 times to a class, that counts as 1 excused absence. We just expect all students to be on time. That is a soft skill that you need to be productive in your job when you finally get a full-time job.
The dress code violations remain prevalent throughout the building. Dr. Turner would like to share a few words to elaborate on expectations.
Okay, so the dress code policy can be found in the student handbook, and it says the school administration reserves the right to determine whether the student's attire is within the limits of decency, modesty, and safety. The principal may allow exceptions in special circumstances or occasions, such as holidays or special performances. And this can be found in every student handbook online. So that's when a student would need to refer to their Alpha Range administrator first, that assistant principal, and then they will refer to Mr. Jones, the principal. The most common dress code violations would be exposing the stomach, having crop tops that are too short. Just a reminder that blankets are not a part of the dress code, meaning students, leave your blankets at home. Other known dress code rules would be head apparel. No hats, no hoodies on during the school day. Blouses or shirts should reach the bottom of your waist or the top of your pants. Those are some known ones. Okay, y'all are good.
Some recent concerns about academic dishonesty. We decided to talk to Ms. Biddick and Mr. Heinrich, so come with us.
My name is Brett Heinrich, and I'm Vice Principal at Collierville High School.
My name is Ms. Biddick, and I am the senior counselor this year. Academic dishonesty is any form of cheating or plagiarism, or basically trying to present information as your own when it really was not.
So I think what we're seeing as an administrative team this year is artificial intelligence, and students relying on that to submit their work to teachers for graded assignments.
So the consequences for academic dishonesty would be your first time would be a meeting with an administrator for a conference to discuss the severity of it and how to avoid doing that in the future. You also get a 0 on the assignment, with a chance to make it up for up to a 60. The next time you meet with your administrator again, can get a 0 on the assignment with a chance to make it up for a little bit lower grade. And also at some point you lose the opportunity to be able to participate in honor societies or certain clubs and leadership positions. And then you also can lose the opportunity to wear some of the graduation regalia, like the cords at graduation. You just really want to own what is your knowledge. Don't share your knowledge with other people. If somebody asks you for an answer, don't be willing to give it to them, or don't give them your homework that you did. You know, take credit for what you know and for what you've done.
Be confident in the work that you submit, and let that carry you through the semester. I think you should always do what your gut tells you is right. I think a lot of times our instincts are usually correct. So if you feel like you're in a situation where you're doing something that might be in violation of our honor code and the student handbook, then more than likely it is, so go with your gut.
You know, be honest, that's always the best policy. Character is important and it says a lot about us, and so, you know, you don't want your character to be damaged because you're willing to cheat.
We're really excited about this semester. We had a great start to the school year. We're gonna have a great finish to the school year, and go Dragons.
That's it. Now let's go to DragonFire reporter Dylan Morrow as he talks about digital citizenship.
I'm Dylan, and today we're going to give you more insight on digital citizenship. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Digital citizenship is a great opportunity for students to ensure that they properly know how to use the computers that they have in front of them on a daily basis. It is hard for them because, they're only in seminar 25 to 30 minutes, and so they really don't understand why they have to do work in the first place. But I had to just make sure that they understood that this was a school-wide and even a district-wide program. It will help students to be just digital citizens. A citizen, is someone who does the right thing. So from cyberbullying to even, just sending anything inappropriate, it's going to ensure that students know right from wrong.
Absolutely, I think it's important. I think that everyone should do it because it gives us the knowledge we need to understand and what we're doing on the internet. I mean, we're all very young, so we're all online. I think it's hard for everybody to focus about doing citizenship. It's pretty long. You can't skip it. No, the district should not use this program next year. I think everyone would probably agree with me, but it makes it it's pretty annoying that you have to do it every other month, and it's taking forever to finish. I feel that digital citizenship is very important. I think it's important that we all do our part to make sure that the internet is a safe, good place. Yeah.
Thank you, Caleb and Ms. Rago, for explaining the importance of digital citizenship in our school. So, over to Mr. Beaupre to talk about Chalk Talk.
My name is Miles Beaupre, and I'm an assistant principal here. I've been at Collierville High School since 2013. I spent the first 7 or so years as a teacher and the last 3 years as assistant principal. So Chalk Talk is an online program that helps students prepare for the ACT. It reacts to the students' answers, so it corrects, so every student has a different pathway through it. Well, because it reacts to the students' answers, it actually helps them focus on the areas that they need to concentrate on. So if your science scores are really low, it funnels you into the science. If your English scores are low, it funnels you into there. And so it really helps you focus on the stuff you need to work on, not the stuff that you already know. So there's a couple different parts. The one we use most is what I believe is called the homework section, which is basically you do it on your own. There's parts that also have some just videos you watch, like a YouTube video, and then there are parts that we don't use very often that involve more like a direct teacher with a PowerPoint behind them that we do not use, but that is also a possibility. It also has diagnostic and practice tests and stuff like that. So it depends on your grade level. So right now, juniors and sophomores are twice a week, and freshmen are once a week. And seniors, because they finished theirs, they don't have to do it this quarter. It has been uneven, I will be honest. One, we had the technical problems at the very beginning of the year, and then trying to squeeze all that into 20 minutes or 25 minutes is very difficult, but the program is really, really good, and we're trying to figure out better ways to use it next year so it's a bit more effective. Sure, so why we care about your ACT and all that stuff is every time your ACT scores goes up, that means more money in your pocket for scholarships and more opportunities at whatever school you want to go to. So the difference between a 21 and a 24 is massive in terms of scholarships, in terms of what schools will look at your application, and that's why we spend so much time on it, because all it does is open up more doors the higher your score is.
Dragons. My name is Jordan Gaston. Today we'll be sitting down and talking with Dr. Ballantynes about EOCs, their importance, how to prepare for them, and more.
So my name is Dr. Ballantyne, and I'm an assistant principal here at Carville High School, and I'm over testing as one of my main roles. There's 6 different classes at Carville High School in which are EOC classes, and you will take an exam at the end of that course. So the classes that take EOCs are Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry would be the 3 math classes, Biology is a science class, and then English 1 and English 2. So the percent of the grade that EOCs are worth is 15%. So it's just like a semester exam at the end of the of any semester. Most all EOC classes, to my knowledge, have tutoring hours, and so the tutoring pamphlet that the counselors sent out would be a good way to figure out where to find those, or just ask your teacher. I would say it's best to prepare for the EOCs. Just make sure you're doing everything in those 6 classes, you know, that your teachers are asking of you. If you feel like you're falling behind or getting behind, take advantage of those tutoring opportunities. Anytime that you can do retakes on tests or projects, always take advantage of that, because you're improving your skills and your knowledge in those areas to be able to be better prepared for the EOC at the end of the year. EOC is a required test mandated by the state. You cannot be exempt from taking the EOC. You can't opt out or anything like that. That will happen at the end of the semester. So in the first semester, it happens typically after Thanksgiving, until it's about a 3-week testing window. And then this semester, they'll start actually on April 15th. And again, it'll be about a 3-week testing window. So it's important to focus in EOC classes, because not only does it help you as a student, because this does count as a grade on your final exam for that class in terms of your grade for the class and passing and all of that, but also it does count for our school scores. So it holds a major weight on where we are compared against other schools across the state, and we like to be high up in that. We just wish everybody good luck on their EOCs at the end of the school year.
That's all for today, and remember, stay focused in class, don't cheat, and have a fantastic school year. Next up, behavior concerns with school officials.
With each semester comes reminders on proper behavior in the school building. Dragon Media reporters Thatcher and Landon talk with Dr. Mark and Officer Sisson to give us some more information.
I'm Deputy Ron Sisson. I am one of the school resource officers here at Collierville High School.
My name is Dr. Mark. I am one of the assistant principals at Collierville High School.
I think everybody just needs to be reminded to be patient, because the hallways are crowded. Everybody's trying to get to class, just like everybody's trying to make it through. So just be patient with each other, and it's not that big of a deal.
We want students to be able to get to and from class, and we want students to be able to get to and from class quickly and safely. And more than anything, just have respect for the building that we are in. When we're in the hallways, we expect students to not be horseplaying in the hallways, to walk in the hallways at a pace that allows everyone to be able to get to class on time. And then remember that the restrooms are exactly what they are.
I think the vandalism problem in the bathroom is silly. We have this really, really nice building. We have a very, very nice school. And the fact that we got people that are destroying it is very frustrating and very ridiculous. I think that the non-consensual filming of students is so childish. And you wouldn't want that to happen to you. You wouldn't want that to happen to your mom or your sister or your brother or anybody else. Amongst the school this year, some of the biggest issues, you have some fights. That's going to happen sometimes. You got some tempers that flare up sometimes, but you also have some kids that are vaping and not using their time wisely, not being where they're supposed to be, and that's some of the simplest things to fix. You be where you're supposed to be and you don't have any issues.
A lot of different ways that you can report things. You can always email your teachers and have them communicate it with us. There is an email thread called chsadmin@colliervilleschools.org. You can always email that. That goes to our entire admin staff, and one of us can always respond there. But if you see something wrong, report it.
Some of the advice that I would give to the students this semester is be kind to each other. And this is a great school, so let's just make Collierville one of the best schools around.
Come with me to go talk with Ms. Blake about how to keep up with our schoolwork and healthy ways to deal with stress. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does school affect your mental health and why?
5. I give it an 8.
7.5. We're going to encounter stress, whether that's school stress or work stress or family stress. It's there. We have to find everyday ways to support our mental health so that we're ready to handle those things. I think one of the biggest things is to remember we don't do things automatically. That's anything. If you're learning yoga or to play the piano or a video game, the first time you try it might not be the most successful. Managing your stress is a skill. You need to practice it, and it's best to practice it when you're in stable functioning. So learning those everyday things like going for a walk, writing in a journal, listening to music, thinking of ways that kind of help calm your nervous system in peaceful moments. Things that make you feel good will be readily available when you start to feel stressed. So doing those everyday things to manage your mental health. Everyday things to manage your mental health are the things like making sure you connect with somebody, trying to move, whether that's go for a walk, whether you're a person who exercises, whatever it is, movement can very much support your mental health and calm your nervous system. On the back of the student IDs, we have resources for you. One of the biggest is the 988 that you can call. You connect with a real person. They can talk you through any sort of problem you're having, and they can connect you to resources. Again, we have counselors in the school. We also have on ClassLink, we have the virtual calm down room that has a lot of cool resources on it that can help you. Things all the way from visual things to help calm you, but also movement, things like that. Breathing exercises help you through all of those things. We have a lot of resources available. And if you need something and aren't sure to where to reach out, contact a trusted adult. That's why we're here. If you are struggling, don't isolate. Let somebody know, and we'll find a way to help.
Now that we've finished with Ms. Blake, let's go talk to Mr. Jones about the student handbook.
The handbook is pretty much a guide for our students to be able to understand how things work here at Collierville High School, and every student should review it. And it's pretty much our rules, our procedures for how we do school things. Any type of school-related activities or things that we have going on in the building, students can review the handbook to find out how to actually engage in those things. So we update the handbook every single year. So once we finish out a school year, we update the handbook in the summertime just to make sure we have things that we need to address. Lots of information can be found in the student handbook. Again, anything from our schedule in terms of our block schedule and detailing what our times are, to, as I stated before, attendance procedures, makeup, how to make up work in the event you're absent, exam procedures are in there. Dress code is in there, dress code expectations, participating in events, clubs, sports, organizations, all of those different things are included in the handbook. It has a wealth of information. Just about anything that you could think of is in the handbook that pertains to you as a student and what you need to know to be able to maneuver through the school successfully. And I would just say to any student, any and every student, you should never go through a school and say, I've never read the handbook of that school. There's a likelihood that you'll do something that violates their rules or procedures, violates safety protocol, violates something if you don't read the handbook. That's why it's so important. It's not enough for an individual to say, I don't know, and believe that you're not going to hold them accountable for it. Our school is open to so many things and so many opportunities for students, and that handbook talks about ways that they can get involved. Great question. Where you can find that student handbook is on our website. All you have to do is go to colliervilleschools.org, www.colliervilleschools.org. Once you click on that, then you can go to schools, find Collierville High School, Once you click on Collierville High School, there's a section on there that says parents. There's one that says students too. I believe it's under students, but I know it's under parents. If you click under parents, on the parents icon, it'll show student handbook right under there. And all you gotta do is click on it. It'll pop up as a PDF, not in a Word document or anything like that, so it's easy to read in a PDF, and you can just review it.
As more and more students are parking at the school, it's important to remember proper parking and bus procedures before and after school. Dragon Meter reporters Heidi and Gray talked with Dr. Holcomb to bring us more.
It's Dr. Holcomb. I'm one of the administrators here at Collierville High School. Our buses are typically school rules, school policies. So think about all the rules that you know in class. You're going to do those same behaviors on the bus. Sit in your seat, be quiet, let the driver do their work. If a student needs bus information, they need to get their bus information before lunch on that school day. If they wait after lunch, we cannot guarantee that they will have their bus information in time in order to ride their bus home that afternoon. So student parking, what we do is we begin during the summer. We have reserved parking spaces. So every parking space on our campus has a letter and a number. The letter represents the specific parking lot. The number is the specific space within that parking lot. So when students start signing up, they are assigned a parking space. So think about a assigned seat in the class. You're given an assigned parking space. It's going to be your spot every day that you show up to campus in that specific lot. So when the students come in, and we do it by seniority, so seniors get to come in over the summer, and then juniors and then sophomores have registration day that they can pick up their passes before school begins. The students sign rules, and the rules go over what their expectations are while they're driving to school, while they're parking on campus. And it's pretty simple. The rule is that they park where they're supposed to, driving appropriately in order to get there or to leave our campus. Under no circumstance are students allowed to park in the main parking lot. That's the parking lot up by the attendance office. There is not a circumstance where a student can park in that lot. It doesn't matter if they're running late. It doesn't matter if it's raining. It doesn't matter if they're checking out early. Students may not park in the main parking lot. So the newest rule that we have is with our parking, and it's a 2-year-old rule. It is the assigned spots. Before we first opened this campus, we let students park first come, first serve anywhere on campus that they chose to. And starting last summer is when we went to the assigned parking spaces. If students turn 16 or get their driver's license during the school year, what they need to do is they need to email me and we will go over parking procedures. Currently, we are out of parking spaces. There are not any parking spots left, and we have about 100 students on our waiting list. So if parking spaces become available, we pull students from the waiting list to fill those open spots throughout the school year.
Changing a few things when it comes to our expectations of students being in the hallways, getting to class on time, getting to school on time. Our students should know in the handbook that all students should be in class, present and accounted for, seated by 7:30 a.m. Some things that our students need to know. First and foremost, get here on time, be seated by 7:25. We open our building as early as 6:30 a.m. for students to be able to come into the building. Any student that arrives at 6:30 a.m., they can go into the cafeteria, sit and wait until school gets started. The thing that we are going to change is those students who are arriving late, meaning they're not coming in until 7:25 or after. If they can't be seated in first period by 7:30, what we're going to do is, first off, they need to have their student IDs, which everyone should have that every single day. Students come in late, they're going to have scanners there, starting scanning them in at 7:30, meaning a student walks in there and it's 7:30, that tardy bell is rung, it's getting scanned. There's no debating, there's no arguing. This is not a debate. This is, you are late. Any student that does not have their ID, when they come to those doors at 7:30, they will have to walk around to the front office in order to come in. So those are some things that are very important. Those students who are coming in tardy will be receiving Friday school. So we want to make sure the students know that it's not a get 3 and you get Friday school. No, it's a Friday school, you're late. Oh, the 1-minute warning bells that we have added is exactly that. It's self-explanatory. So your tardy bell, for example, rings at 7:30, right? Once the tardy bell rings at 7:30, you are late. But what we as an admin team said, we're going to give a 1-minute warning bell just to let students know you got 1 minute to get to class before the tardy bell rings. That'll happen in the morning. It'll happen in between classes. The color-coded hall passes, first off, every teacher has a hall pass. If you know, you get a hall pass from a teacher. Well, these are some of the problems that we're having. Students will get a hall pass because they all look the same. A student will get a hall pass from some teacher that's on, let's say, the 1000 hallway. Well, I see the student in the fine arts area, and they ask the teacher if I could go to the restroom. Well, you're on the 1000 hallway. Why are you all the way here in the front of the building by fine arts using the restroom? We're going to give them hall passes, which are color-coded to the hallways. And we'll have postings so teachers know which hallway has the certain colors. So, for example, if the math hallway downstairs is purple, but I see a student with a purple pass all the way in the front of the building or on the green hallway or whatever it is, I know that student is out of area. The tardy sweeps. Well, the tardy sweeps are very simple again. That's what we're doing. We're sweeping for tardies. As the administrators and teachers, we're going to be doing tardy sweeps. Anyone that's in the hallway at that point in time, it's a Friday school. We want to make sure that we can identify every single individual. I want to make sure you're safe and your classmates are safe just as well. I think of you guys as my own child, and I know that I want you to be able to get home safely every single day. And so that's why I'm such a stickler when it comes to security. I just want to make sure that you have a great high school experience and you're able to return home better than what you were when you left home.
Have you ever wondered what it's like behind the scenes of DragonFire? Our Dragon Meter reporters, Kavius Jones, Adeline Schilling, and Taylor Voigt bring you behind the scenes in 5, 4,
3, 2, 1, take playback.
As we are getting ready for our next show, we like to have a production meeting talking about the upcoming productions and key points we need to have to ensure that the show will be smooth.
As an executive producer, it's basically your job to make sure that the show gets made. And you're in charge of all the pre-production aspects and during the actual live production of the show.
After the meeting is adjourned, our Dragon Media students start planning and working on their projects such as news packages, admin segment, and what does Carville think.
I really enjoy working with everyone and kind of laying out a show and managing it and building out a show from scratch is really fun, especially when it's about something I'm passionate about and you have a lot of different fun segments and you can work with a lot of different fun people.
Once the projects meet the deadline, our producers view the projects to make sure they meet the needs to be aired.
Technical director, they pretty much listen to what the director has to say. The director will say like stand by camera 2 and they'll press preview camera 2 and they'll have it ready. And then when the director says take a specific camera or shot, the technical director will just press the button for that.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. We know semester 2 is going to be a great one. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Collierville Dragon Media.
Along with the student production team of Advanced Television Production, I'm Lillian Beavers.
And I'm Rakshan Sivalingam, and this has been DragonFire.
Have a great week, Dragons.